Hello and welcome to episode 66 of the Extreme Hardware Podcast. Today I will be hosting because Simmons is temporarily out, so I am filling his rather small seat. And with me in this small seat that is getting very crowded, we have the lovely Jack.
Simmons has a small seat.
And we have TeamSpeak user Frickfrock.
Hello, how are you?
And Lexus Man Andrew.
Simmons escaped the basement. He's trying to get him back.
Yeah, Chris has gone after him, but it's pretty hard to chase someone that can hide in bushes very easily. It's like only 4 foot.
Yeah.
It's very easy.
At least he doesn't need that much tranquilizer to put down.
Anyway, we don't have a huge variety of topics, but we do have some very interesting topics this time. E3 and a whole bunch of video game virtual announcements now that they all have their own names of stuff like Windows One and, well, E3, and those are all the ones I know. But they're happening over the past few days. A lot of interesting games have been announced, and a lot of very uninteresting games have also been announced. So, does anyone want to kick off of any of the games that they saw? Or
The only game that I saw that I think was like even relatively worth it, I don't know if it came out, it didn't come out during E3. Well, no, it wasn't showing E3, but it came out during it, was Guilty Gear Strive came out. And that thing looks sick. And the new, didn't they announce a new Final Fantasy as well?
I think so, yeah.
did they? Oh, it's like 40 Final Fantasies, honestly. It's just
And they announced that new Forza Horizon.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. So
that looks very good.
We have Forza Horizon 5 now.
Yeah, it's 5, and I'm glad it's set in Mexico because it's making a lot of people very angry that it's not set in Japan.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Like, it got from a rumor. No. Sorry. It started off as, instead of being a rumor, it was more like, oh, I hope it's set in Japan. That would be nice. Then it straight up turned into, there's rumors of Microsoft insiders saying it's set in Japan. And then, like, people creating concept art, if you will, which is like badly Photoshop stuff and stuff like that. And everyone's like, no, it's confirmed Japan. And then it comes out being Mexico, which is just great.
Yeah, a few months ago, someone did make actually a really good box art for Forza Horizon 5 set in Japan, and it looked professional. Mm-hmm. And news, if you want to call it that, outlets basically ran articles saying it's confirmed to be set in Japan. And they confirmed today that it's not. It's set in Mexico.
Yeah, what I find very interesting, I know this is like something that people usually wouldn't find interesting. So Forza Horizon 1, 2, 3, and 4, the car is facing every single different direction, like top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. And then Forza Horizon 5, no car.
Horizon is the fun one, right? Fun series?
Yeah, if you will.
Well, it depends how you define fun. Horizon is the open world drive around basically anywhere. Motorsport is the track only one.
Yeah, okay. So if you wanted to have, like, it's the more arcadey of the two.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%, yeah. I've got a feeling, just with the nature of Mexico, they're going to really, really play into the off-road aspect of it. I think we're going to see like an absolute crap ton of Jeeps, Jupes, heaps, hoops. Just, there's 110%, like, I can guarantee it. There's going to be a monster truck and stuff like that. There's going to be the Dakar Rally cars, WRC cars, and then they're going to have the typical supercars to keep people happy. Well, I'm not totally against it because, honestly, Horizon 4's off-roading was very underdone. Like, it was quite good, and there were very few events that really leveraged the off-roading stuff. That wasn't just have the most powerful off-road car and away you go.
Well, in the videos that they showed during the event, most of it was off-road, and they did show supercars. They didn't really show anything else. So
I suppose you're going to get the off-road supercars as well because Horizon 5.
They I think they showed a Porsche Taycan, which is an electric supercar driving off road, which was weird.
Yeah, I promise also, if they do have a poster car, it's going to be the AMG 1 or whatever it's called.
No, it is. They've already pretty much confirmed it. One thing that is interesting is it will have ray tracing on Xbox. They didn't comment on whether or not it will be on PC. Xbox hardware is AMD, so might work with ray tracing, like RTX, might not, who knows.
Well, it's all DXR at the root of it. I could see it being locked for, I don't know, 3 months or something. It's really a love-hate relationship with Playground Games and Forza Horizon in general. I don't really know how to describe it because I think I still will buy this game and I'll enjoy it 70% of the time. But 30% of the time it's terrible. And the 30% of the time can really be fixed. They just don't because it takes effort, which is money.
What, does it just get repetitive after a while?
Yeah, it does get repetitive, but it's not just that. It's the fact that a lot of the core components of it are bad in terms of the matchmaking, the internet connectivity, the hitboxes of the cars can be very dodgy at times. Also, there's cheating in it. It doesn't affect you directly, but any sort of leaderboards or anything, forget about it. People do 1,000,000 miles an hour in a speed trap. They never take it down, or they say they do, and they take down 1 out of 1,000. But also, there's very, very, very bad sportsmanship in the game. You will spend 10 minutes waiting for an event to happen, get in the event. There's 5 people, let's say it's me and Andrew, and then of the team of the other 3 people, 1 will be AFK, 2 will have purposefully, they will purposefully try to make us lose. And then I just start over again.
It sounds like League of Legends with cars.
It honestly really is, except instead of people still building the correct builds in League of Legends, people can enter the completely wrong build car in this type of event and just make you lose. It doesn't matter how good they are, because they have this thing to try and balance cars performance points, if you will. And then, cars up to 700 performance points can enter this event. And those are very unbalanced. You can get some cars at that performance points which are really, really overpowered and some that are very weak. And usually it's more that are questionably weak. And then people enter with those cars. Basically the whole balancing system around it is very bad and is a cause for a lot of frustration. And also it's a lot of frustration because you end up being forced to drive the same cars because you either drive that car or you won't be able to compete or finish the event.
Oh god, it's one of those you have to grind to unlock type games.
Unfortunately, no. No. I would actually prefer that because what happens in these games, the good reason why Gran Turismo and the old Forza games are great is you start out in a crap box, right? It's this box that makes 90 horsepower and it's slow as crap. And the new one, first car you get Forza Horizon 4 is an Audi TT RS.
You get a choice of
400 horsepower car.
No, yeah, you get a choice between the Audi TT RS, the Ford Focus RS, which is basically the same thing, or a Dodge Charger. Whereas in the older Forza games, which I really like, you start off in a Chevrolet Spark or a Hyundai i10, and you got to work your way up to supercars. I imagine Horizon 5 is going to be worse, where you go in and congratulations, you've done the first race. Here's a Ferrari LaFerrari or something. They basically do that in Forza Motorsport 7. You go in, one of the legit first choices of cars is a Bugatti EB110, which is the Veyron, but before the Veyron.
Yeah, it is just, it's not good because the problem is honestly the audience base, a big part of the audience base wants that, which is mind-boggling because you can go into the subreddit for it and people are like, oh, the starting cars in Horizon 4 are too slow. It takes too long to build up to my supercar of choice or insert dream car here. And it's just I do get a bit frustrated when games force you to just keep having really bad cars when your opponents have very good cars. That can get frustrating. But the way Gran Turismo handled it, Gran Turismo 4 still is probably some of the best categories and like progression of any game. And yes, there's ways to cheese it, but that was like, if you don't cheese it, I think it's very good. And it's something that gamers these days don't know about delayed gratification. They just want everything now.
Well, no, here's the thing, right?
now.
That's that kind of feature, that sense of progression that people want in a game. A lot of people won't play it if everything's already given it to them. Like they won't play if they don't feel like they're like unlocking something every game. I mean, all you have to do is like look at Call of Duty or look at like any mainstream shooter. You have to unlock something.
Yeah, every single match, it's like unlocked, every single time. And actually, this kind of leads nicely into the next game that was announced. It wasn't announced now. This thing's been announced for ages, honestly. But it was kind of like shown to the public, if you will, at Blizzard's event now, which is Diablo 2 Resurrected. If you know where to look, i.e. the developer's actual own statements, this has been announced for quite a while, just not very publicly. It looks shocking, like really good.
September 23rd.
Yeah, I didn't expect Blizzard to do this. I expected Blizzard to completely screw this up.
Well, okay,
so up the Warcraft one.
Yeah, so there's a reason for that, and the reason that it looks so good is because Blizzard isn't actually making it.
No,
it's
I know.
being made by Vicarious Visions.
Yes, I was going to say that they brought in a different team that's actually good. Yeah. And you know what? That's the right move, because people at Blizzard aren't the people at Blizzard who made that game anymore. They are long gone.
Yeah, Blizzard North is not Blizzard North. It's not Shadow. It's Shadow of its former self. But also, the main thing that this is going to be so good at is that it's going to get people hyped up for D4, which is great. You know, for a while, people were saying it was impossible to make a Diablo 2 in HD because it would mess up the amount of space you could see.
So a little bit. There's a lot of arguments against it. So I have been following this quite a bit. So when people were doing the Diablo fan base is very toxic, by the way. It's so elitist. It's so elitist, and it's one of those really good and really bad fan bases at the same time. It's a fan base where you can see that, like, here's my 2,000-word essay on why Diablo 2 10.4 is or 1.14 is the ideal Diablo, patch, and every other patch is worse. And it's just things like people trying to defend really archaic, mechanics and stuff, like having to spam potions all the time or pull up your inventory with charms or whatever. Yeah, so one of the things about that was you have, I can't remember the exact number, but it was like 8 block radius or 10 block radius of sight around you, and that's limited by the 4x3, as well as it was more of a graphics thing as well, and you couldn't see that far out because you also zoomed in. And if they wanted to make it in 4K, people were arguing they're going to zoom out. You're going to have 16:9 or 21:9 and be able to see more, and it's going to ruin it. The experience will be terrible because my atmosphere and stuff like that. So how they're getting around it is, well, they're just remaking the game. Because also another reason why they said they couldn't remaster this game, all the assets are not the original assets. From what I understand, they don't have the source code. They don't have like the original art assets. They don't have a lot of the stuff that you would have when developing the game. They just have like what you and I have. But they do have some of the original art assets, like more of the concept designs, and then they're rebuilding the UI, the characters, everything off of that original concept design. And it's got some people angry because, when things are really small resolution, like 640 by 480, blown up, this 2.5D type thing, people imagine it looks a different way because you've only got like 40 pixels to display something. Mm-hmm. And then actually it looks a different way, and people are getting upset like, no, this isn't how it should look. It should look this other way. So there's a lot of that going on, but net result, I think the Diablo 2 Resurrected looks amazing. The textures are amazing. I think it's going to look better than Diablo 4.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Like, it's so detailed. Like, the level they've gone to, Diablo 3, if you look close, it's really ugly. Diablo 4 doesn't look like a huge step up. It does look like a step up. But Diablo 2 Remastered looks like you can get these things blown up like full size on your screen and it still looks really good detail.
Yeah, well,
like when they're talking about 4K resolution, it's not just like a meme. The textures seem to actually be in 4K.
Yeah. Well, it's a combination of like, because the original Diablo was sprites, basically. The majority of it was sprites. So, when you zoomed into it, it did not look good. But the cool thing about this is you can switch between the new style and the old style and just see the difference.
Yeah, and that's a big, honestly, that's the CNC 95 introduced that. That's been a really great thing. CNC 95 was also a really, really good remaster. I think it was one of the best remasters out there.
Yeah, no, it's going to be good. I'm going to be playing it first day. I don't know how much it's going to cost. Probably like $30.
Oh, it's too expensive, in my opinion. It's a full price game. I think it's $50 US.
Oh, Jesus, really?
Yeah, no, it is full price game.
That's a stupid thing to do. Why?
Sorry, let me just launch my Proton VPN. I'm sorry, battle.net, because the icons look the same these days. I don't know if you've noticed that, but
you say that, but you could probably get a cheaper price on it if you use a VPN.
Weirdly enough, I am getting a cheaper price because my account's still in euros.
Oh,
because it was from South Africa, and I don't feel like changing it. Because
you should. If you want the cheapest prices, just say you're from Brazil. Anytime I'm buying a game, I just change the VPN to Brazil, and I get it for really cheap.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't think we should linger too long on it. I'm just going to look up the price quickly. It is, it's 55 Canadian, $80 if you want the Primeval Collection. Don't buy the Primeval Collection, by the way. It's very, very muddy. Like, Blizzard's horrible with this. Primeval Collection just means Diablo 3 plus 2.
Oh,
yeah, but they're like advertising it like, you get all these things with the Primeval Collection. You look at it, it's like, oh, pets.
You get
wings.
2 new costumes and 7.1 surround sound.
No, I know. I was speaking to a friend and he was like, why don't you want the Primeval Collection? I'm like, I don't think I'm ever going to play Diablo 3 again, let alone care if I have these special transmogs or pets. It's not worth $25. Like, holy crap.
So I'm looking right now at $40 USD, which is fine.
Yeah, I'm looking at CAD/euros, which is the same, interestingly enough.
Yeah, okay, anyway. $40 is fair. Dude, you can tell they put a lot of work into this, so.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, there's quite a few other games also announced. So do either Andrew or Navjack, do you have anything from the game announcement list that you were particularly excited about?
Yeah. Basically everything that New Blood announced. Because they announced so many friggin' things. They got Medieval's going to be in VR, and there's going to be a new expansion pack for it. They got Gloomwood, Fallen Aces, Ultra Kill, Dusk 82, which is basically the game Dusk, but like an Apple II RPG from the top down, which is weird.
Oh, that's nice. No, I haven't seen a top-down RPG in a very long time, actually.
Yeah.
Not to just steal what you were saying, but I think top-down and 2.5D have basically died, and it's a real shame because I do love those styles.
Yeah, same. Yeah, and the last two, Unfortunate Spacemen, which I think is free to play, and Faith the Unholy Trinity.
Yeah, I put the trailer in the chat. You can play it if you want, Alex. It looks really good.
Yeah,
it looks really good. Dude, Dusk is honestly one of my favorite FPSs ever. That game is so much fun.
Hell yeah.
I'm looking at the trailer now. I didn't know they Fallen Aces. It looks like a really high quality Doom mod. Okay.
Yeah.
And they got a car combat game. Oh, sick. All right. All right, so they're hitting all 5 games are hitting a very specific demo.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that new Dusk 82 looks like Dwarf Fortress.
Yeah.
You
know what I'm actually kind of surprised about? Sorry, that didn't get announced. So Bethesda plus Microsoft had their thing. Are they still having their thing? Because what I want to say is I'm surprised there hasn't been a Bethesda new Skyrim announced.
Yeah, they had their thing. I watched it. They really didn't.
They did they were like Fallout 76 updates.
Yeah. They showed Starfield. That was cool.
Yeah, they did. They finally did. We got to see what are the two that are really good. The new Payday got announced.
Did it?
Yeah, Payday 3.
Oh, I got a video for this that you can't show on the stream.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's from the 6th. That's all I'm going to say. You could probably work out what the content is.
Yeah, they announced here, Alex. They announced the new Payday 3.
We had the new Killing Floor, too.
Oh yeah, the game that like everyone seemed to get from Humble Bundle and never play.
Yeah, dude, Payday 2, like everyone talked about like how amazing it is. I gotta tell you, that gun, the guns just felt so weak and not fun to use for me.
Yeah, it really is just a shoot everywhere and hope things die, or you could just get an overpowered gun that you just don't really get ammo for.
Yeah, that game was not the kind of game you want for like thrilling gunplay. But if you're just like doing a heist or something, it's pretty good for that. Oh, yeah. And speaking of which, Battlefield 2042. Obviously, I don't know how we didn't mention that.
Yeah, I know that.
I know how we didn't mention it. I really don't care about it.
Really?
Like, so okay. I think we all played a lot of first-person shooters when they were like becoming big. Like the Call of Duty 3, 4, 5, 6, Battlefield 2, what was the Bad Company 2, and Battlefield 3. Played a lot of all of those. And since then, I feel like because that was just so popular for everyone, I feel like since then they've become so commoditized. Or like, I don't know what the word is, but like that idea, IP and everything has basically had the like mobile game negatives applied to it. I don't mean it's not as bad as mobile games, ads in your face every few seconds, microtransactions everywhere, but I feel like Battlefield 3, they tried to make a better game than Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 2. I feel like they really aren't trying to do that anymore. I feel like it's just like, this is next big explosions and things and God.
One weird thing to note with the new Battlefield is it says pre-alpha gameplay footage, and isn't it only like 4 or 5 months away?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you know this, but EA and Crunch are pretty good friends. So trust me, that's coming out in 4 months.
Yeah, no, but like good. That's exactly like Battlefield 1 was. It's just bad.
My favorite was Battlefield 2.
Battlefield 2, I had an absolute time in. Like,
Bad Company 2 is by far the best.
I'd say it's completely debatable between Bad Company 2, Battlefield 2, and Battlefield 3. Like, I enjoyed all of them for completely different reasons. Bad Company 2, what was that game mode where you had different buildings? Or I think one team was defending and one team was attacking, and like you had to keep going across different buildings or checkpoints. Or something.
Domination.
Yeah. It was just amazing, and there was like 32 versus 32 people. And
I think that's from Unreal Tournament. They got that from Unreal Tournament, actually.
Yeah, and it was just like really, really fun because in that game, all the roles made sense. You could viably be a sniper, you could viably be a medic, you could viably be I don't know what their version, the scout. I can't remember the names anymore.
Yeah.
But, the guys like light and heavy, and then medic and sniper rifle, recon, or whatever they call it. Those are all completely viable in Battlefield Bad Company 2. I think like the balancing from the gate was really good, and it was fun to just blow up stuff, and it was just a fun game. Battlefield 2 as well, for like different reasons. I feel like that was a much slower game, more drawn out.
Yeah.
But it was more tactical and more fun in a different way. And then Battlefield 3 was also very different. All of those was more action-packed, a bit closer fighting, but there was just more variety of fighting and a more like, you could have 10 different fights going on all at once.
That's
all
good
in
and bad,
different
assuming you're on the
ways.
right map. Because Battlefield 3 had the worst Battlefield map. I think it was Metro.
Was it the Sky? Yeah.
Metro is so horrible. It's so awful.
No. I loved Metro. Actually, I was like one of the few people that loved it because you could abuse the crap out of it if you had the medic class with the heavy machine gun and just sat around a corner.
Dude, people just fucking used RPGs and noob tubes that whole match. That's all that is.
No, but it was so fun though. I don't know. I really liked it. I really liked it because you could abuse it. Not really abuse it, but like it played into a very specific playstyle Metro did. And it wasn't the only map. And then you go into a different map and it was completely like open and there's tanks and jets and all that kind of stuff. Like there was a lot of variety and the tanks were pretty good, but they weren't super overpowered, etc., etc., etc. I feel like they've like tried to emulate Battlefield 3 again with 4, which was just like Battlefield 3, but in an alternate dimension. It's like the same, but not.
It wasn't bad, but yeah.
Also, I just realized I forgot to change the Twitch name. It's like episode 65 Aftershock. Anyway, yeah, I just feel like they have been trying to recapture how good 3 was, and they just haven't nailed it at all.
Yeah, it's hard to do because at that time period, that style, like that really heavy shooter style, wasn't that prolific because really it was only Battlefield that was doing that. But now, I mean, you can find like tactical milsim arcade shooters by the dozen. There's a ton of them out. Insurgency is like huge.
Yeah, and I think it's not only that. I think it's like, yeah, when Battlefield 3 came out, you got this merger of people who were playing COD but didn't want how arcadey it was, plus people who wanted something more realistic, and people just generally interested in shooting games all come together. But now it's really forked out into people want specifically, like they'll go play specifically Fortnite for that style of shooting, or PUBG, or Call of Duty if they hate themselves and just have 2 walls they punch all the time and beat their girlfriends. And
yeah, I mean, people can go to like Apex Legends, they can go to DayZ. Oh, maybe not DayZ, but Arma. I mean, there's also like
Arma is the other one I was going to say. But like, I do think the arcadey of that generation was more like COD. Arcadey now is like really arcadey. Like we got Among Us, we've got, but okay, actually like arcade.
Among Us isn't a first-person shooter.
Can be.
We got Roblox. Yeah, we got the most hardcore shooter of them all.
No, but like seriously, I think like the target audience has been distilled, and that's not a good thing per se, because something that is fun or was fun to me about Battlefield was there were definitely people worse than me playing the game. And the skill level has just gone up a lot. And actually, that's not that fun. I like games where I don't have to try all the time. That's not fun.
What do you mean? You just want to be casual? Like maybe if you, I don't know if that was ranked in Battlefield 4. It's been a while, but
so how it did it, and it's how StarCraft initially did it, I think is the best way to do ranked, where there is no unranked. Everything's just ranked. Because then there's zero pressure. I don't know about you, if any of you guys have played like StarCraft. StarCraft, I don't know, for me was particularly noticeable. There's like ladder nerves or ladder pressure, where basically you'd kind of feel nervous about laddering or going on the ladder because it can influence, your ranking and stuff in the game. But if everything's ranked, you just generally don't care because it's like, oh, neat, I'm X out of Y for this role in Battlefield. Cool. Oh, my KDA is that? Oh, okay. Yeah. Because there's no other option, so it doesn't feel like it's pressured. Now that they introduced unranked and ranked to StarCraft, I mean, I still got the older mentality of just like, screw it, just ladder with ranked, it's fine. But games like League of Legends, where there's always been unranked and ranked, I never want to play ranked because also other people take it so seriously. You're not going to have fun. And isn't that kind of the point?
Well, either way, but then like you have people, the downside of having a ranked mode is you're basically making a place where all trolls can go and just saying, hey, you want to troll? Hey, come here, troll here. This is where you're going to get the best reaction.
But that's what I'm saying. Don't have a ranked. Make everything quote unquote ranked, i.e. like you have an MMO or MMR, sorry, or an ELO, but it's not visible to you, and you have all your stats and all that kind of stuff, but you go onto a website to see it, or maybe it's in the game or whatever like that. But you don't specifically say, "Oh, you're Platinum 2, you're Division 5." You don't say that. Hidden MMR, and that's it.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen this, but there's, I think, the biggest League of Legends streamer, a guy named Tyler One. And
Tyler One got into Challenger or something.
Yeah. So he streams like 8 hours of League or 6 hours of League a day, and then he goes offline and he plays like another 8 or 10 hours of League. And I remember, like, I'll watch him every now and then just to see like the mind of somebody who's that competitive. And like, oh my god, like
he is so
I don't know if it's like
special.
an addiction or if he's actually passionate about the game.
He said it. He said he's addicted.
Yeah.
No, he went to like counseling for addiction.
Yeah, I think you'd have to.
Guy's so weird, actually. No, he's like he's a character, honestly. One of the favorite pictures I've seen of him is he's like holding up the sign. He's like, "No, look, I'm definitely 6 foot." Or he's like 7 foot or something. He's
like what's that famous
5'3".
picture of him with that lady that's like 5'8", and then him right next to her?
Yeah, he is. I think 5'3", but he had what he called a meter stick, showing 6'5", and he was slightly taller than it.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey there, Alex got it.
Oh yeah, there it is. Oh yeah, no. Here's the picture. I know you've seen. Yeah, there it is.
I do think he's taking the piss, because I've watched one of his streams where he said he bought a brand new Mercedes and then showed like a rusted out Corolla from 1992.
Yeah, no, he's 100% taking the piss. Like,
yeah. There's a picture of him somewhere with him standing next to the Twitch man that got banned, that I forgot his name.
Dr. Disrespect?
Yeah, that's the one. And Dr. Disrespect is like confirmed 6'5" or something, and he's just towers over him.
He just, oh my god, dude! You want to talk about something weird that's going on with Twitch? I don't know if you guys have seen what's going on with like a lot of the top level streamers, but like the top 10, top 1% of streamers, they all started doing like gambling sponsorships.
That's been happening for a while. It goes on and off, on and off, on and off. Like the last one that I remember was the CS:GO one. Remember that?
No, but dude, this is straight up gambling, like slot machines and everything, but they're using cryptocurrency.
Oh boy!
So it's actual money. It's real money that they're using. And the thing that's weird about it is one of the guys who does these sponsorships had he accidentally leaked how much he's getting paid per month from one of these gambling sites. Go ahead and take a guess. Let's say you're a top level streamer, right? How much do you think per month one of these gambling companies would pay you?
30,000.
2 million.
What?
2 million. I'll find the article. This guy named Aiden Ross accidentally leaked the DMs of how much he's getting paid. And the guy's like, I need 2 million, either give me 2 million or piss off. And I'm just sitting there thinking, wait a second, 2 million for this one streamer. And like guys like XQC, who also has a sponsorship deal, they're going to get paid a lot. How much money are these casino companies making, bro? Like, it's got to be off the charts. And that much on one streamer. That's nuts. I'll see if I can find it.
Anyway,
no, so the whole thing was we were looking into what you can do, and like if that's like going to be banned from Twitch. People are like, oh, they're going to get banned from Twitch. Oh no, here. Hey, by the way, here's the article about it. But yeah, so the whole thing was, are they gonna ban this? And then they're like, oh, wait a second, they can't ban it because they actually have a gambling section of the site.
What?
Yeah. Did you know that? Twitch has a gambling section. It's been there for years.
Oh.
But nobody uses it. And here's the weird thing about it. Even though they have that section, even though they approve of it, right? All these streamers, they're still doing gambling deals. They're still doing all this stuff. Even though they've approved it, if you, as a streamer, have 50% of your time streaming, like time spent streaming, in gambling or slots, they won't give you partnership. If it's anything else, they will. But it's 50% or more is done using gambling, even in that section that they have, they won't give you partnership.
That's fair.
It's strange. Like, what? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. Anyway, more game updates. The big Minecraft 2.
It's Minecraft 2? I thought it was just an expansion.
Yes,
Yeah, it
it's an
is.
expansion.
I called it
Okay.
Minecraft 2 as a joke.
It's a good joke.
So yeah, Caves and Cliffs is coming out. Big boy Minecraft update.
No, it has come out already. I
Has
think
come
on
out.
Tuesday. They've already done. They've done the caves bit or half of the update or something. I don't fully understand what they did. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of new things in there. We got a bunch of new ores like copper, and I've forgotten the rest. There's new build height limits. You can go up higher and dig lower. Neat.
Yeah, there's tons of new blocks as well, like sort of not decorative blocks, but like stuff that would make caves look a lot nicer. Like they've redone the algorithm of how they're generated as well, which is neat.
Isn't that whole thing up RTX as well?
Yes and
no. It depends
So-
which version.
Yeah, the Bedrock edition has RTX and it's not built on Java.
The Bedrock edition is different in some ways to the Java version and also worse. Java is effectively an unlimited map size. I think Bedrock is limited to 1,000,000 by 1,000,000 blocks.
I honestly can't remember.
It's something like that. It's still huge, but it's still smaller than Java edition. There's a lot
So
less
which one
mods as
uses?
well.
If you're using that one, that's going to use way more RAM, though, right? Like, what do you need? Like 64 gigs to run that thing?
I don't remember. I've had no issues with either. I've also not really played the Bedrock version. I mostly do the Java version.
Oh.
As soon as Paper MC has an update for Caves and Cliffs, Axie said he's going to run the HW server again, and then we're all going to play Minecraft in there.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get Tiffany to join. She said it's too blocky.
That's sort of the point.
Yeah, I know.
What's that supposed
But you
to
can
mean?
get like mod packs to make it realistic.
Yeah.
She was like, she doesn't like Minecraft because it's too blocky. It's like,
Oh no,
oh,
you can actually get a mod pack that turns it into like soft
Vortices.
ground, so you can like
oh,
dig in circles, and it
Oh,
looks
okay.
really bad.
Anytime someone does like a super realistic version of any game, it always looks like they just ruined it. Like, you ever seen those super realistic versions of Super Mario Brothers? Or Super Mario 64?
or like the GTA ones where it's just basically everything's super shiny.
It's super shiny
it's
and
like
always
somebody goes
wet.
into Unreal Engine 4, cranks the bloom up to some godforsaken thing, and then just makes everything, it just removes all art direction and makes it all drab and gray and realistic looking, quote
Yep.
unquote. Never looks good.
Anyway, I think that's about it. Oh yeah, there's an Xbox mini fridge.
Oh,
Yeah,
Well,
it's an
great.
official licensed Microsoft Xbox mini
Well,
fridge.
I found the realistic Super Mario thing that you were talking about. I'll put it in the Discord. There you go.
oh
That's it.
no, here's one in Super Mario Sunshine. And just to give you an idea, it's like no art direction. It's like ugh.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
you've
yeah, no, it's very-
seen the actual path traced Super Mario 64 thing, right?
No, I have not.
Let me link it.
Okay. While you're doing that, Windows 10 plus 1, 11, or 21H2 or something. Sun Valley. I don't know what they're going to call it. Probably nor do they, honestly. We have on June the 10th, which was kind of a missed opportunity, they introduced and I have, sorry, I missed chat there. They have introduced, or they announced, a Windows update or new Windows or something like that. they basically made a video that was 11 minutes long of all the startup sounds of the previous Windows, kind of hinting to the next thing. It was announced, or rather posted on the 11 a.m., 11 minutes long. Everyone's going, oh, Windows 11. I mean, they're probably just trolling, to be honest, because Jack has the insider preview, and I believe he said it was just called like Windows Next or something like that.
Yeah, they're not. I don't think Windows 11 is anywhere coming. If it is, it's probably going to be like a mobile OS or something.
Well, my big thing with the whole 11 numbering is that Microsoft said years ago that 10 was the last version.
Yeah.
And that makes sense.
Well, did you guys see what that new Windows update did?
I don't remember anymore.
The whole thing is like everyone's all pissy and mad because it adds some horrible little weather docket thing.
Oh yeah, I've had that for months. Yeah,
that's something else. That's not part of the big update that they're doing.
Yeah. No, frick, that's just like a service pack or whatever. I'm kind of glad they got away from that naming or the nomenclature, but like that's just an update plus security plus bug fix.
Okay, here's what I think. So here's the article. Windows 10 support will stop by 2025.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that maybe that's where people are getting the Windows 11 thing from.
Yeah, I mean, and we already have versions of Windows 10 that has stopped support.
Yeah.
It's like you can't use them, so
it's not allowed.
Yeah, but here's that thing you were talking about. I have that.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
I really don't like it, but whatever. One thing I do like about this update is that they are going to basically redo settings. Finally, holy crap.
Is it all going to be in one place?
I hope so. I really feel like for a company that spends so much on UI design every year, they have some of the worst UI design of any company.
Yeah.
Well, dude, it's hard, man. Like, I don't think they get enough credit for realizing. People don't realize how difficult it is to make an update for any Windows product and need it to work on everything. Like, it's not easy at all. Did you ever read that article about how they Microsoft sent out an update for Microsoft Excel or something, and it like brought the financial market to a halt?
Yeah, I remember that.
Like, it's a big deal, dude. It's not easy to do.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is the settings section for Windows has to be redone. It's something that's you don't care about in server because you don't really use it at all in server applications. And, well, yeah, go for it. It's just like the UI and the GUI rather needs to be changed for settings. Just the way it does, like searches and categorizes stuff is terrible.
They really need to modify the MD5 hash in the GUI. I agree.
He's saying geek words. I like it.
Yes.
Oh, hey, what did you guys think about, speaking of Windows, about NVIDIA saying they're going to drop Windows 7 and Windows 8 driver support?
Yeah.
Fine with that.
That's fine. Yep.
Who's still using Windows 8? That's like the worst OS apart from...
Someone's using it.
Windows 8 was the only OS that I installed, rebooted, it bricked itself, and I went, okay, this is a sign. I'm going to uninstall it.
Oh.
No, I do think Windows 8 is going to be the forgotten Windows from Microsoft.
No,
it's not
Windows
bad enough
8,
to be remembered.
No. Windows 8.1.
Oh yeah, because that was its own thing. It wasn't the same thing.
That was the good one. That was the fixed version of 8.
No, I know, but just like Vista's Service Pack 3 that actually made it good, no one remembers about that. They remember how bad it was.
I remember. No, don't you say that. I am very well aware of the power of Vista Service Pack 3.
No, but as I say, 8.1 fixed Windows 8. But it doesn't matter. Windows 8 stigma was still there. And frankly, it was bad. But, yeah.
Yeah, I do think those two things will be the forgotten Windows because it's not bad enough to be remembered like Windows Millennium Edition. And it's not good enough to be remembered like XP.
Dude, what was the one that released for the Sega Dreamcast and the PlayStation? What was that
Windows
called?
CE?
CE, yeah.
Oh, wow. I don't even know that happened.
By the way, speaking of which, real quick, we should talk about the latest Steam hardware results that just came out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can do that. I was going to talk about the Apple thing, but we can do that afterwards.
Since we're on the topic of like OSs, and guess what? And since we're on the topic of OSs, Windows 10 is used by 93% of Steam users. So,
Yeah,
Could be.
no, it is a vocal minority with Windows 7.
yeah, so it's very much in there.
But like honestly, I don't know. Okay, so sorry, I don't want to talk about the Windows 10, 11 thing. Just 11.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have used a modern. Okay, I know both of you. Frick, you haven't used a modern Mac OS.
I know, I have not.
It's having used Mac OS since OS 7, and then I used OS 7 to 10.7 Snow Leopard, and then just big gap until like now, Big Sur.
Yeah.
And onwards. And it's so nice. Like, I don't know. It's crazily RAM efficient. But okay, I'm not going to talk about that, but like just the UI design is really, really good. It could do with the Windows folder organization because I find it very frustrating to find hidden folders or files. It's obfuscating it too much. But the stuff I use 99% of the time, you know, the command key dot for search, the search is amazing. The bar at the bottom is still fantastic. The way it handles apps and multi-screen apps, really, really good. As well as
the search is great, but it thrashes the heck out of your storage. And I just had to disable it on mine. Yeah.
Okay, real quick. So some of the if you expand, you can get more into it. But the thing I found interesting about this, most common card, 1060. Still,
Okay.
Yeah. That makes
to this day.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with the Steam hardware survey, I don't know how much I could trust it because I got prompted to do it, and I did. And a lot of the things it got wrong. Like it didn't even detect my Valve Index, even though it was plugged in and switched on.
Yeah,
the RAM it got wrong. The CPU it got wrong. The resolution as well was wrong. Basically everything.
Yeah, the resolution is always wrong for me because it combines my monitors, which is dumb.
Well, the interesting thing is, and if you're talking about glitches, maybe this is a glitch. There's no way this is true, but it says 100% of all Steam users have a microphone. There's no way that's true. No way.
You have a microphone audio device on pretty much every motherboard.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, so it means you have a microphone.
Wait. I don't think that's valid.
Oh, no, it isn't. You know, they're not using any sort of jack sense or anything on it to see if something's plugged into it or being used. But yeah, I mean, everyone has the capability of having a microphone.
I guess if you want to go that route,
yeah,
you could say like the USB ports are like key to everyone having a DAC.
Yeah,
if you wanted to. So no, I thought the GPUs are interesting. The top 5 GPUs: 1060, 1050 Ti, 1650, 2060, and 1050. I'm surprised that 2060 is up there at all, that high up. To be the 4th most popular GPU?
Look at the 3000 series. The 3000 series has actually picked up quite a lot, despite what people think about them being unobtainium.
They are in 15th place.
That's not bad. No, but like, look at the 3080 compared to a 1080 Ti, for example. They're not as far apart as you would think.
Oh, wow. The 1080 Ti is way down there. Okay.
You know, I'm not good at percentages in my head or anything, but I remember maybe a couple of years ago, like 980 Ti's and 1080 Ti's were way higher than they are now. And those are faster. So did a whole bunch of people sell their really good cards and now they're stuck with crappy cards?
Yeah.
I think that is basically what happened. Yeah.
I know someone that I can't say who sold his 1080 Ti just before the announcement of the 3000 series and tried to convince me to do the same. He was like, no, you have to do it. No, I got a great deal on it. Trust me, sell your card now. Sell it now. And I was just like, you know what? Even if I make $200 in this card, I don't care because I'd rather have a 1080 Ti than like sit around on a, I don't know, 1030 for like, I was going to say like 2 months until I can get a 3080 Ti.
That's optimistic, yeah.
This was an announcement of the thing. Because like with the 1080, the 10,000 series, no, basically I thought they were going to announce like 1080 Ti or 3080 Ti straight away. I can't remember why. I think we got like news that they were announcing their big boy chip first, and that's how I thought it.
Yeah.
But I was assuming like 2 months maximum. Like that's way too long. Turns out it's been like a year. He is still on. So he's on a 1080 Ti that he is borrowing from a friend. So I don't think this counts as being able to survive on onboard graphics that he was going to do.
Yeah.
Like, you can't tell me that when you just happen to have a friend with a like an AIO 1080 Ti that can lend you one. If you didn't have that guy with a random spare GPU, you'd be SOL.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? The prices of GPUs now is just so ridiculous. That new 3080 Ti that they just announced, what the hell is the purpose of that thing? But it doesn't matter if it because.
No, do you know what I was going to say? I don't want to get into it because this is not a tech podcast. It is a tech podcast. I don't know where I was going with that, but like the 3070 Ti and the 3080 Ti, like there's not even much point in us talking about it, but we're going to anyway, even though it's been talked to death on it. I know there's conflicting opinions about the value for money for both of the cards. And it's like there's many ways you can spin it. If you spin it on MSRP, I think if you just looked at their entire lineup now with no idea of when things came out, but you did see the performance in the MSRP, 3070 Ti is a horrible, horrible value for money.
Yeah, it's like getting 11900K.
No, but the 3080 Ti came out, and it makes the 3090 look like good value for money.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because if you looked at the lineup and you went, okay, 3080 Ti, wow, that's expensive. But hey, hang on, for what is it, $300 more, $200 more? I can get a twice as much VRAM and a few percentage performance. Who cares about the percentage performance? Twice as much VRAM? That's
but Alex,
cool.
Alex, guess what? It sold out in less than 5 minutes.
No, I know. I mean, I was more talking about like not in an ideal world, but in a world where you just didn't know anything, you just saw the product names, the performance, and their MSRP. But yeah, in the real world, it doesn't matter. They can slap on almost any price. If it came out at the same price as the 3090, it would be roasted, persecuted. Everyone would make fun of it, and it would still sell out.
Yeah. Wouldn't matter. You can't stop it at this point. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah. So this also leads into something I want to mention that I've noticed quite a lot. You know, we had a lot of articles about the chip shortage affecting cars, but we haven't really seen a direct, hey guys, cars are, blah, 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 like with GPUs. Like almost the whole world knows in some way or another GPUs are ridiculously overpriced, whether they know specifically GPUs or they know that like computers are getting more expensive or chips, or Biden talked about the chip thing. It's almost public knowledge that this is happening to GPUs because it's also so apparent, like how everything's sold out and overpriced. But with cars, we haven't really seen that, even though they've had the same issues. And what I've kind of thought or am thinking is that basically we haven't seen it because, well, cars have much bigger supply. Like the backlog of cars is much bigger, but also it makes sense as to why secondhand cars are going up like crazy now. Because this is first year, I don't know if 2020 or 2021 is, that secondhand cars on average have gone up like more than 10%.
It's a lot more than that.
No, but like every single secondhand car. I'm not talking about like S2000s and LS400s. I'm saying like every car.
Yeah, no, I looked about a year and a half ago. I could get a E120 Corolla. That's a 2000 to 2006, I think, Corolla. They're about £800 to £1,000. They've more than tripled in price.
Oh yeah, no, sure. No, what I'm trying to say is, like, I actually can't find the source anymore, but I do remember seeing it on the ARP/cars. Actually, it was like someone linked an article, but on average, like every single car from like your cars that just are going down in price, but they're not going down in price as much. Like, you know, what is that car that Chris loves? That's horrible. The
Corolla.
truck thing. No.
PT Cruiser?
PT Cruiser. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
From like a PT Cruiser to the convertible van thing that they also made that looks like a hot dog. Like everything, bad cars, good cars, cars that are desirable, cars that are going up a lot. Just a 2020 RAV4 is more expensive than a new 2021 RAV4. It's so weird. And apparently a big part of it with the higher end car market, so Jaguars, S2000s, Lexi, Lotuses. No, but they are being scalped a lot by dealerships. And I can definitely say that's true for S2000s. The people listing them for hire was bad, but not that common. Every single dealership I've seen seems to be like taking the piss and trying to list it $5,000 above the previous dealership.
So I found an article about it, and they said as of 2021, the average car price is now at $38,000.
Yeah,
Average.
That's insane. Like,
There's one
That's
thing,
crazy.
There's one thing Alex was talking about where the dealerships are just charging way too much. Kia are doing that as well, and they're being very arrogant about it. There's a Kia SUV that was a pretty good, like MSRP is a pretty good price. I think it was $38,000 for basically a $70,000 quality car. They're selling them like well over $90,000 at this point. And they're putting like messages or like printing out Word documents saying like, we know why you're here. You're here to buy this car. Unless you can put down a like $30,000 deposit, you can't have it. This is a very desirable car. Just being way too arrogant about it.
Oh, yes.
No, so
I remember
here's the thing. Here's the thing, dude. People are paying, according to this article right here, recently within 5% of sticker price. Like, Jesus Christ. So what people are afraid is going to happen is, you know what's going on with the housing market right now in a lot of countries?
Yeah.
Mm,
With the housing market, it's at a point where if you list a house, right? You're a realtor, list a house. Before, you'd have to wait and people would make an offer. Like you list for $200K. People come by like, hey, how about like 185 or like 190 if you make these repairs, something like that. Now it's a completely different story. Now a retailer lists a house. They say it for $200,000. That $200,000 is now an auction price. And now all these people are going to come in and instead of negotiating for something lower, they'll say, hey, look, whatever that other guy's paying, I'll pay 210. Or whatever that other guy's paying, I'll pay 220. And it just goes up and up and up. That sounds like something that might happen with cars.
That's just
happening with
eBay.
cars. But yeah, no, it's not even worth talking about. Housing is just completely unaffordable now. But yeah, cars are just also going up so much, and it's taking away from like the buyer having choice or the power to like the seller having power, i.e., you know, seller's market. And it is a disgusting seller's market in pretty much everything these days, whether it's wood, cars, houses, GPUs, just everything.
Unless you get really lucky like me, where the guy I was buying my car from made the mistake of saying he remortgaged his house and
No,
he was
but you
desperate for
didn't
money.
buy your car in 2020 or 2021.
Well, that could still happen now if you're buying used like private.
Yeah, maybe, but still. Anyway, moving on to the Apple event that happened as well. Stuff happened, I guess.
Yeah, iOS
Andrew.
15, new Mac OS, and
Yeah.
I don't remember the rest because I am not a developer. This was the developers
the
keynote thing.
WWDC.
Yeah.
They announced like also, I think they're improving their like Mac handoff thingamajiggy, you know, move stuff between iPad and Mac. They announced, a bunch of new privacy things in iOS 15. FaceTime on Windows now, but only via URL. iMessage is going to try and compete with WhatsApp, like better group chats, better way to sort photos. There's a whole bunch of like really neat iOS changes that some of it really needed. They were going to redo the lock screen, but that didn't make it. So I assume that's going to come out with the next iPhone instead. And
Well, iOS 15 is coming out with the next iPhone.
then it might just be like I know with my iPhone, it was just before a big release of iOS, and they just released it like 2 months after. I'm assuming because they couldn't do that much at once. Because I mean, how often is iOS released buggy? I think like never. Right.
Well, I don't think they're going to do like a big design change in a point update. It'll be like probably iOS 16 with a new lock screen then. I think there's a bunch of new...
No, this is not a point update. This is a new one. It's 15.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like they're not going to do a lock screen.
Right.
It's like 15.1 or whatever. Yeah, there's a bunch of new Animoji things, like lots more customization. Which I don't know who uses those. I made one that looked really obnoxious, and I've never used it.
Oh, yeah, it's so funny. And all the keynote events, they all have the Animojis for their avatars in their iPhones. And I'm just like, it's so odd. Like, who does this? Why is... I mean, Apple's gone so far into this, like they can't really back out now, but they really are clinging onto this.
Yeah.
I think I would like to see them be more like Mii's, because Mii's are funny. No one takes a Mii seriously when your body is like 5 cylinders.
Oh, actually, Jack, you do development and have a Mac. Do you have any opinions on any of the things that were there? Do you even know what happened?
I watched it when it happened, and I forgot everything, so I'm pretty sure none of it was important.
Oh, okay, well, there we go then.
Yeah. You need to know. A lot of the privacy features they announced, stuff like secure paste. That was one of the highlights. You can now copy and paste securely. It's like, oh.
No, but that is actually, I mean, I don't know why that wasn't before, but I do know stealing stuff from your clipboard is a big thing.
Yeah.
Or viruses stealing stuff, Java applets stealing stuff from your clipboard.
Oh, okay, dude. The iPhone's been around for how long, and that hasn't been fixed? How is that a feature?
No, that hasn't been fixed. It's more so, like, I don't want to say Android, but really, it's like the only other mobile operating system that's never existed on Android.
What?
And that
it's actually a feature on Android.
Oh, it's one of those, dude. Some computers can't even copy and paste. So, I mean, that's not that big of a deal. I couldn't.
What thing doesn't exist on Android?
Huh?
What thing? The copy-paste thing? Yeah, actually, I just got an update to my Android 12 beta, and every single time an application requests the clipboard, it pops up on my screen and says, like, Twitter has requested the clipboard, or whatever.
All right, so they're doing... Basically, iOS 15 is catching up to Android, and Android 12 is catching up to iOS.
Yeah, pretty much. They're going for parity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, it is...
Now it's BlackBerry's time to shine.
It is important to have and stuff like that. And
I know, but I just looked at that feature list and it sounded so silly. Now secure copy-paste. I'm like...
Yeah, it's a big thing.
Oh, well. Let's see what else. Do you want to talk about DLSS coming to Linux?
Not really.
Is, DLSS on Linux soon. Yay. Speaking of DLSS, AMD's much more conveniently and easy to remember name like HairFX was no, that was NVIDIA's.
What's it called?
FX. It's called Fidelity FX Super Resolution. So it's not like Fidelity FX, which I believe was a thing, and it's not like VSR Super Resolution. It's its own thing.
Yeah, Fidelity FX is the SDK, and
I don't know. I just find AMD's names kind of harder to remember for some reason.
That's because they're hyper marketing.
Yeah, I think they've got too many. I think NVIDIA does really good marketing. Well, not really good marketing. They do much better than AMD marketing, at least on the GPU department of AMD, because AMD suffers the Xbox. NVIDIA doesn't. NVIDIA is more like Sony, where it's like PS5. Who would have thought? PS6. Woo.
Oh,
right? But AMD is like, no, we need to reinvent the names. We're the underdogs. We need to reinvent the name. They'll get what we mean. We just call it the Fine Super ultra resolution fidelity X or DNA.
Oh, DNA. I appreciate that.
AMD
Thank you.
definitely are better at these sorts of names than the Xbox division at Microsoft because
No, honestly, I'd say it's tied because they both have the exact same issue. But Microsoft, for some reason, it's not like Xbox One, Xbox Two. They're like reinventing or they're trying to make it completely different.
yeah, there's Xbox 360, Xbox One, which is not confusing at all, and then it gets worse with the Xbox X or One X, and then the next generation console is the Xbox Series X, which I'm sure a lot of people got the previous generation console for Christmas instead of the next generation one. And then there's also the Series S, which is like an X but worse.
There's a running conspiracy theory about why Microsoft chose that name, and it's because of how with the previous ones, previous Xboxes, people always called it by a nickname, right? They called it like the Xbox One or the 360 or something like that. Like they always shortened it. So supposedly, Microsoft chose the name Series X, so people would say sex. That's the theory.
Sure.
No, I don't think that's why they did it.
Hey, man, like I said, you never know. But for what it's worth, nobody says that. But still,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I do know they tried that with the Xbox One, where they thought everyone would call it the One, but everyone just ended up calling it Xbone.
yeah, because it's the one thing. It's the one solution for all your stuff. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't put it past them, but I don't know if they'd be so garish about it.
Yeah, it's the one solution for everything and stuff like that. It's like, holy crap! Do these guys just? It's just an Xbox.
No, dude, you remember what happened when the Xbox One launched, right? It got panned hard.
Yeah, they had really bad features like no used games. You have to use the camera and microphone that we won't watch you through for some reason.
And then I think the guy, Don Magic, who was in charge of it, first of all, he got fired. But second of all, he was asked by an interviewer, what about people that just want to play games? He's like, we have a device to do that. It's called the Xbox 360.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was God.
It was always online as well. And a lot of people brought up, like, what about like military people deployed? Like, they don't have internet access. What are they going to do? And I think that's where he said, just use a 360.
Yeah. So it's like, dude, come on. And then Sony came out the next day with like a 10-second long video of like how to share games on PlayStation. And it's just two dudes, and one of them hands the other one like a PS4 game, and the commercial ends.
Yeah, I'm glad that Microsoft got rid of requiring a Kinect, requiring always online, and letting you use games.
When they were going after the used market in like a really weird way. Supposedly, they were only going to allow you to like have a game registered to one Xbox, so they would give you a code with the game, and you'd have to punch in that code if you wanted to play the game. And if you used it once already, you have to pay like a $20 like recoding fee or something.
Yeah, there was just such bad backlash from that.
I know. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Believe it or not, Andrew, this is the time when GameStop was actually like a force and was taking a big chunk out of their revenue. And now everything is digital, and GameStop is not good. So they don't even have to do that anymore.
Oh, really? Because their stock's up quite a lot recently.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. The best story of GameStop, I'm sure.
Yeah. Speaking of Apple, at least previous topic we were, there is the Apple hires BMW Ulrich Franz. Andrew, what is this about?
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. BMW had a EV executive who no longer works at BMW because he now works at Apple. And this has brought in a bunch more rumors again of the Apple car. Yeah, he was behind the BMW i3 and the i8. I hope he wasn't the designer because they both look terrible.
The i3 I think is okay, to be honest.
The i3 is fairly decent, but still kind of ugly. The i8 is just terrible.
Yeah, like the i3, if it doesn't have those garish 20-inch wheels, it just had like maybe 18-inch wheels. It looks like a cute A series skinned like a BMW.
Yeah. Yeah, he's working at Apple now. So it's pretty likely, I think, that Apple are going to make a car. Apple have also teamed up with Hyundai a little while ago. Don't remember how long ago it was. So there's probably going to be reskinned Hyundais being sold as Apple cars with
Maybe custom software or something.
Oh yeah,
So what's
definitely have
this
custom
Apple car
software.
supposed to have? What's so great about it?
No one
Well,
knows because
yeah,
Apple-
no one
okay.
knows.
Well, no,
Okay.
Apple's like, when was the last time you heard a really reliable Apple leak? It's like never.
It's usually
Yeah.
just like, this is what the next iPhone is going to look like a couple of
It's
weeks before it
patents.
gets announced.
Patents is like the best you could do. It also
Yeah.
doesn't help that everyone wants to be the guy who finds reliable Apple news for some reason. So there's a million fake things out there, renders and all that nonsense. So
Yeah.
Yeah, the last like solid Apple leak that I can think of that happened was the iPhone 4, where one of the people working
yeah.
at Apple accidentally left it in a bar, and someone found it.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that did happen. That was somebody from what is it, that really crappy news site? I forget the name of it.
I forgot the name, but I know what you're
Rumors.
talking about.
There's Mac rumors.
I don't think it was Mac Rumors.
No. You know the site that has Kotaku and that network? Gawker.
Oh,
Yeah, that
really
was the whole
testing my
Gawker story.
knowledge there. Yeah, like it's not long until we start seeing iPhone 13 release rumors or whatever, and it's going to be like, here's what we know so far.
Oh,
2,000
Jesus.
words, summary, nothing.
Tune in for our Apple Car drop test.
I have already seen those, but an Apple spokesperson confirmed that the ex-executive for BMW's EV division is working with Apple. So that's the only confirmed thing, is that and rumors of Apple making a car, which would be pretty neat.
Would you buy an Apple Car?
No, I wouldn't buy a car made by a software or computer company. Just
What
like
if
the
it was only
Teslas.
10 grand? What if it was 10 grand, but it gave you ads every time you turned it on?
No.
No,
Like-
I found a fun website on Teslas. I forgot the name of it now. It's not a website. It's a Flickr album that someone made of Tesla wheels falling off.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah, that was a problem since at least 2014. That's when the thing was made. Yeah, Tesla wheels falling off because the suspension breaks isn't a new thing.
Oh yes. Oh, what do you guys think of the Plaid S finally coming out?
Oh,
It's
I think
terrible.
it's incredibly software marketing or company like. So keep in mind there's the Plaid S and then the Plaid S Plus, something like that. And Plaid S Plus, which was more extreme, faster, more battery version, got cancelled last second. And I don't know if they're giving people's deposits back.
Yeah, they took deposits for it and cancelled it. A lot of people are very angry.
Like, this is what also happens when you have such a low entry level of deposit being $100.
I think the deposit was more. I think it was a normal price. I think they only put it $100 for the Cybertruck because they knew a lot of people would meme and say, "Ha, I put a deposit on a Cybertruck."
Yeah.
Well, no, Andrews. You know what the thing is? That it's funny you brought up wheels because that new S Plaid, they said it could reach 200 miles top speed, but the problem with that is you can't actually do that because it's only capable with wheels that they haven't released yet.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
See, this is the complete typical Tesla stuff. It's just like I really, really hate them for this.
Here's the article about it. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, no, because like
Oh,
they
and it's
do
also
this every single-
$130,000.
Yeah, no, they do this every single time where it's like we could actually do this if we tried. That's basically what they're saying. Like, oh, we're not going to prove this, but we're going to say we do it, and you just have to trust us.
Oh
And
wait,
then-
no. Wait, with this thing, I think I read somewhere that the wheels are a $50,000 optional extra, which the car that's competing with this, the Porsche Taycan, which is a significantly better car, is like at that point it's the same price. Actually, it's a bit cheaper, and I would just get the Porsche.
So the numbers that they're giving to make up for that is saying, yes, despite that, the new Model S can get a drag coefficient of 0.208, which beats the EQS and the Lucid Air by 0.001 and 0.002.
But that's
they're doing the theoretical thing. That's just a load of lies. Because my car, my car can theoretically do 180 miles an hour. It can't. It's the same with a lot of cars, like a Ford F-150, actually, with the 10-speed automatic. That can theoretically do nearly 500 miles an hour, but no one claims it can do that. Tesla would if it was their truck.
Well, no, what it would so supposedly it's supposed to be able to do 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds, and then run a quarter mile in under 9 seconds.
Maybe it depends where it's done. On an actual drag strip with drag tires, yes, it can. On a regular road, no, it can't. Okay, it can't do 2 seconds to 60. It's just not possible.
But that's the thing. Like, if it was Porsche making these claims, right? If Porsche said it can go do 200 miles an hour, 0 to 60 under 2 seconds, and like quarter mile in 9.23 seconds, I'd be like, wow, holy crap, and actually believe it. Because Porsche doesn't lie like this. Tesla only lies. That's all they do. And there's no legal ramifications for just lying like this because no one ever sues them for it. They can get away with this and they can just go, oh, oopsie whoopsie. Yeah, it's 9.230 to 60, but you need these special Mickey Thompson, not road legal tires, and it needs to be in a rubbered in track, and you need to have it in the special like plaid track mode that we haven't released yet.
But,
okay, now, Alex, let me ask you this, though. Let me ask you this. Let's say all this is the case, right? Which seems to be. What's the alternative? Lucid? You're going to go to Lucid? Who else can do this?
Porsche. No, what do you mean? Who else can do? Porsche or Porsche. Porsche has.
No, I'm talking about Tesla. I'm talking about Tesla. What other alternative is there to a Tesla right now?
Oh, it's a Porsche Taycan. It's a 4-door sedan.
Yeah,
that's electric and it's really quick. Yeah,
it's
looking at these things,
than a Tesla, and it's better. And it's a Porsche.
Elon Musk said it would do 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds, which it can't. That's actually 5 to 60. And it would be able to do a sub 9 second quarter mile, which Jay Leno proved it couldn't. It's been proven that it did a 9.2 second quarter mile. They didn't say what tires it was on. It was probably drag tires. I don't think it would be like the road tires. And that definitely would have been on a rubbered in track. Meanwhile, you've got like another electric car company, Rimac, I think it was. Casual run, street tires, basically match the Tesla. But also, a con to that is it's a $2 million car, not a $100,000 car.
Wait, so okay. Lucid is Lucid just another one of those like bullcrap companies, or are they legit?
I have no idea.
All I know about Lucid is they make EVs and they are based in China. That's it.
Because every time Tesla makes a comparison to their stuff, they always use Lucid Motors as a comparison.
It's because like no one's ever heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about the Porsche Taycan.
No, they did once where they said they'd beat it around the Nordschleife, and then obviously they didn't, because if they did, they wouldn't have shut up about it. Instead, they just ignored it, pretend they never said it.
Oh, no, they tested the Taycan in the Plaid Model S as well, just the other day.
Wait, who did?
Edmunds.
Oh, no, it's a Model Y.
I'm sorry, the Model Y.
It's an SUV.
Recently, no, they did do that's the only comparison I could find recently.
No, but
it's not even the same type of car. It's an SUV versus a sports sedan.
Yeah, I don't know why they did this comparison, to be honest with you. They did it. It's there.
Yeah. Anyway, does anyone have anything to add? Or I think we can wrap up.
Yeah,
all set.
We're good.
We could probably carry this on in the extras.
Yep, we can. Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining, and bye-bye.
Bye.